Good day, Chicago. Love this town. DoubleTree by Hilton. So, in this video, we'll have a gear review. All right. So DoubleTree again, Hilton brand property. Warm cookies. This is the warm cookie chain of hotels. I didn't get any last night. It was a late night last night. I did digital check-in, just came straight to the room, and pretty nice room. It is somewhat upgraded. Footprint of the room is just a standard studio room. Very large bathroom. Does have both a walk-in shower, a massive walk-in shower, and a soaking tub. So pretty nice. Chicago. Love the city. A lot of people don't know how important it is. This town, if there were no Chicago today, there'd be no US as we know it, no USA as we know it. It is something else here. The food scene alone, casserole, they call it deep dish pizza. Gino's East is my cup of tea on that. But if I want a casserole, I order a casserole. If I want a pizza, I go to New York City because pizza is something you fold. Here, I really enjoy the hot dog joints, Chicago style hot dog, great stuff. And then if you go to an old school Asian place, like a Chinese restaurant or something, Chop Suey is where it's at, really good stuff. You can have your choice of meats on that. There seems to be a lot of Italian restaurants here. I saw more than one Olive Garden location, so that would be a Olive's Garden. And I'm just joking. Olive Garden's not Italian. It's a something between a fast casual and a QSR, which is a fast food restaurant. It's decent. It's what some people might think is Italian, but it is a decent place to eat. I will eat at Olive Garden. I will not bring a date to Olive Garden unless that's decided upon ahead of time. Yesterday, I got to do the O'Hare to Midway shuffle on the L. And if you've never been to Chicago, come to Chicago, ride the L. All persons should ride the L, the Rattler, at least one time in their life. And what that is, that's part of the CTA, the mass transit system in the region. Just think a light rail, but it's significantly older. There is one that goes from nearly the terminal inside O'Hare, right downtown, to the Clark and Lake station, which is on the Loop. And you Houstonians, when I say Loop, I'm not talking about 610. If you come to Chicago, or if you're from here, if you spend time here, you know what I'm talking about, Clark and Lake, the Loop. And from there, I just get on the train that went into the Midway terminal. It's a really cool thing to do. See a lot of sights. You can see a lot of views of the city. If you want to get off down somewhere on the Loop, you can go from there anywhere in the Chicagoland region. Mag Mile, the quote, quote, Sears Tower, I think they call it something else now, Willis Tower maybe. And today, I get to go to one of my favorite places, America's Dairyland, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, they don't call them the Brewers for nothing. Got to go to Madison. And depending on how the day goes, I might wind up tonight in the Twin Cities, which is Minneapolis. That is in a different state. That is in Minnesota, where they have 10,000 lakes, but Wisconsin's got 15,000. Really looking forward to that. So that kind of segues me into something else, to another point. A friend of mine in Wisconsin, he's lived all throughout the country. Used to live in East Texas. He's alum of UC Davis. And he was wondering why there was at the Hilton in Appleton the other day. He was wondering why there were 3 charter coaches with the local constabulary with disco lights on and so forth, red and blue cherries, why they were escorting 3 chartered coaches. And he was wondering if the Pats flew in there, the New England Patriots. They were hosted by none other than the Packers of Green Bay. And so NFL charters are a fascinating thing to see. I've worked several of them, And is what blew my mind is the catering that these players get. I mean, if you want a lamb hamburger with black truffle olive oil and 4 slices of tomato, you get a lamb hamburger with black truffle olive oil and 4 slices of tomato in any bun you want. I remember one guy that played for the Texans, his dessert was a movie theater, like a cinema-sized box of Mike and Ike's, the big box. That was his dessert, you know, and it was probably written in his contract what he would get for catering. Now, catering on the Major League Sports teams, you've probably seen my photos of the Sun Country 737s. Sun Country has the contract this season, and I think next, to fly around most, if not all, of the MLS teams, the Major League Soccer teams, and their catering is Panera Bread, except in St. Louis they get something else. But most, I know Salt Lake Real, I know the Seattle Sounders, I think LAFC, maybe Dynamo, and they all get Panera Bread except in St. Louis. And I will do that. I'll get into that in a different video. So going back to the Patriots Charter, the New England Patriots actually have 2 of their own airplanes. Most NFL teams have, they'll use Delta 767-4s. I think the Texans one season were using United 764s, which are Boeing 767-400 variants. That's the biggest 767 there is. So the Pats planes, they have 2 Boeing 767-300 ERs, which is a pretty good sized plane, ER indicating extended range. I will look, Vic, I'll look in the flight logs or phone up dispatch and see where the Pats 767s were this weekend, if they were in ATW, Appleton, or if they went all the way to Green Bay, GRB, to find that out. So getting into the gear review, a bandana. Eddie Bauer calls it a multi-clava. Great little thing to have. I have several of them. It's not a bandana per se. It is, multi-clava. It worked as a great face mask when COVID first started, when it first broke out. I have a number of them. You can get them at Eddie Bauer when they're on sale. I think they're $7.50 or $10 or something. They're great. They're all cotton. They can do a lot of things. They keep my head warm. Some of you know as some of you may be aware, I have a significant piece of my cranium missing on the backside. And so that's what this is handy for. It's handy to cover up the face mask. And I really do enjoy them. They're cheap, they're good to have, they're low cost, easy to pack. If you lose one, it's not going to be the end of the world. Eddie Bauer normally stocks, or if you look online, they have 1.5 or 2 dozen different prints. Solid black one, solid gray one. You can get the American flag, the Canadian flag, the Pride flag. You can get this just traditional paisley looking one, red and blue. They come in. A bunch of prints. So gear review, Eddie Bauer multi-clava, get one. If you're not an EB fan, any of the top Wilderness Cheek brands are going to have them. REI, LL Bean. You go into Dick's Sporting Goods, you go into a Columbia store, generally they're going to have a kiosk display of a lot of them. So there you go. Now, for today, can't wait. Gonna get back out on the road, head up to America's Dairyland, Wisconsin. It was funny when I checked in last night. There was this queue at the elevator. Lady gets off and she's in a captain's uniform, pilot, and she flies 747s for Atlas, which is a cargo outfit, and their air traffic control sign, Atlas, I think it's Giant. And I said, "Oh, you're Giant." She laughed and laughed and laughed, said, "Yes, I am." And she used to fly for Etihad, which is one of the ME3, the Middle Eastern 3. It's Etihad, Emirates. We all know how good Emirates is. And another carrier based in Doha, I call them Qatar. And these are carriers the ME3, they're so divine. I think Emirates alone has something like maybe like 7 classes of service. Tourist, which is coach, business, first, suites, apartments, and then residences. And you get, even in first class, if you want coffee, you get your own coffee press. That's how divine some of these carriers are. Far cry from flying on Frontier, JetBlue, Spirits, or even Allegiant. And nobody's taken Allegiant. I highly recommend you do. You can even take Allegiant into Chicago, into the Midway Terminal, and take the L. So for now, au revoir.